Well, y'all, I'm finally going to get around to trying to plant this lettuce root. I don't know if it's going to grow or not. I may have left it too long. I don't know, but I did put a little bit of water to the roots to kind of soften them up and get them wet, to get them started to maybe grow if they're going to grow. Also went over there and got a bunch of compost out of my Miracle Grow compost bin, because it's all broke down and it's made nothing but good dirt, rich soil to plant in. Now, I've got this pot here that years ago I had bought a knockout rose bush in. It already had dirt in it. And what I'm going to do, I think, is mix it. Well, I should have just dumped it in there. I'm going to mix it with this compost. It'll be like half and half. And then I'll probably put some leaves or something in the, well, I've got little paper towels. I'm going to line the bottom of the bottom of this pot, so it'll keep the dirt in long enough for it to settle down and not leak out the holes, and still it'll allow absorption of the water from this little pan. See, I repurpose a lot of stuff. This is a fried chicken container from Walmart. I took the top off and I'm using the bottom as a drip pan to set my pot in. That way I don't have to buy a pan. Instead of throwing that pot away, that drip pan away, I repurposed it. Now everything that was put in that pot has already broke down, so I'm just mixing it in with the compost that I put in this bucket, and it should make some good rich dirt to plant my lettuce ball in. And I did water it so the soil will be good and wet. And with the root ball being wet, I really don't have to water it right away. Whew, I'm already sweating out here, y'all. It's hot. It is hot in Texas. And and this is my grill that I converted to my gardening tray. I've got it full of tulle and seeds and all kind of stuff in here. But I use the trays on each side, the benches, to put my stuff to repot stuff. So that's what I'm doing now. And even though I put poison out, I tell you, I got so many ants in my yard. The poison got rid of about probably 90% of them, but there's still 10% left in my yard. And if there's an ant on this ground, it's going to find my feet, I'll guarantee you. But I probably didn't even have to mix that compost in with it, because I had made the composting in place in this pot to begin with, and it had all broke down. And I think too, I'm going to break a few cabbage leaves or greens. And kind of put down in there and they'll break down. They will break down as everything starts growing. Put that down kind of in the center, in a hole, that way I can put dirt on top of it. Now the first root ball like this that I ever planted, not last year but the year before, oh, it grew beautifully. It produced the prettiest, great big head of lettuce you've ever seen. The one I planted last year didn't do anything. So I don't know if this one will do anything or not. I've kept it for a few days after I harvested all the lettuce off of it. I'm hoping that the roots are still good enough. See, the roots are all up here. It's got a good root ball. So I'm going to go ahead and plant it and try it. We'll see. I unwound those roots so I can get them as deep as possible in here. And I'm hoping it doesn't rot. Well, you know what? I don't know if I pull that off if it will break my roots or not. There is like a film, but a lot of the roots are growing through it. So I could probably just leave it, because it's going to break my roots off if I try to get it off. They're already growing out through the little net that's wrapped around it. So I think it was supposed to be left there, is what I think. And I probably will water that just a little, just to settle the dirt down. And I am going to set it in this, but let me water it first. Put a little bit of compost tea to it. If I can find me a bucket here. Oh, I'm sweating so. Oh man, this is some rich compost tea, I'll tell you. I'm just watering it good enough to where it'll wash down the dirt. Oh, I want it to drip out the bottom a little bit, because I don't want it standing in water. But this will help settle the root ball down in the dirt. And since we're getting some really hot triple-digit weather right now, I'm not going to put this right out in the sun. I'm going to put it over here under the trees where it only gets some sun during the day. Because that's the way it grew so well behind the shed. It got morning sun, but about midday, the back of the shed was shaded. And all afternoon in the heat of the day, it was in shade. And that lettuce grew like crazy. So I'm going to put this one over here somewhere. Put it partially in the shade. And I want it to, it's not draining that fast. I probably should have put, let's see what I got over here I can mix with it. I don't like the way it's draining. So what I think I'm going to do, I got a little bit of perlite, and I got a little bit of Top's garden mix that I'm going to mix in with this. I'll just take the root ball out. Without messing it up too bad. And I'm going to dump this right in the pan. And I'm going to mix it up. I've got so much stuff on it. On this. It's unreal. Let me see if I can get this up. Because you don't want your lettuce sitting in water. You want it to drain real good. And I know I've got my napkins and all mixed in with the soil here. But I want it to drain better than what it was doing. I mean, I want it to hold some water, but I don't want it sitting in water, if that makes sense. There, that'll work. Know what I'll do? I'll put a little bit of tulle, because I've got little pieces of tulle that I've had placed over plants and stuff. I can take a small piece of this. You can even take a piece of cloth, a paper towel, a coffee filter. I have coffee filters around that I've taken out and but I think this tool will work too. Because it only lasts so long before it breaks down, and mine is just before breaking down. So I don't know how much more use I'll get out of it. But it will work here. It'll hold my dirt in my pot, but it'll allow for drainage as well. So I'm just going to put that in the bottom. It makes a good base to put your dirt in. And I've got my greens leaves all mixed in the dirt, which is good. Worms love it. And it's best in the world to get worms coming to your pot, because they leave all kind of worm droppings and castings, you know, stuff like that, that feed your plant. You know, if you got worms in your pots, you got some rich soil. Y'all, I got sweat dripping off of me. So I think it'll drain a little bit better. Putting that little bit of perlite in there and a little bit of garden soil, not much, but I did put some in there. And it helps too to put something like this in top of a bigger pot. You know, like I showed you I've done. It helps keep the other plants watered. It also helps feed the plants. But you don't want to bury your top. You want to leave you just want the root ball of your lettuce under the dirt. The rest of it you want left above the dirt. That will encourage it to grow. Let me rinse my hands off. But now, if I didn't want to put this in this pan, you know, the drip pan, like I showed you, this, I can just take this and set it in top of one of my big pots where the bottom of it is directly on the dirt. And it not only helps this stay moist at the bottom, but it'll also help the other plants gain the nutritions from this soil when you water it, and it leaks out the bottom into the other pot. So I might come over here and see if I can do that. Dropped it all on the ground. So let me go see if I see one where I might want to put it. I will save the tray for something else. And I'm going to go ahead and put it in a pot, a bigger pot. But see, I left the stalk of my celery. It's about 1 inch or so above the dirt. I just tried to put where the root started under the dirt. The rest of it is above the dirt. Now let's see if I can get my spade and carry my camera at the same time and take my pot around here. You can see the sweat dripping off my face, y'all. But here, I think, if I can show it. Oh, let's see. There's my pot. I'm just gonna open up a hole. I mean, I watered this with compost tea last night, and this dirt is basically almost dry already. So this is going to help it. Put it right down there about 1 inch into the dirt. Now every time I water this lettuce pot, it's not only going to drip down into the big pot and keep my plants watered, but it'll keep it damp under the pot as well. So you're accomplishing quite a bit when you put a pot in a pot like that. That'll do even better than putting the little compost bucket in there like that one was, because you've already got compost in there. You're going to be watering it, and it's going to help my tomatoes. And I may find something else to replace that compost bucket with. Put something in a pot and plant it there. But I wanted to show you that. Whew, it's hot. But look at here. I still got tomatoes, y'all. Look at this. Isn't that a pretty tomato right there? It's not ripe yet. And I can't tell if I'm showing it to you. Here, let me turn this camera around. There it is. Get the leaves out. See that big tomato up there? That's a celebrity, I think. It's about as big as my hand. And look at here. I got eggplant started here in my bucket planter. I mean, all of a sudden, these eggplants that are planted in these buckets have just taken off. But I do have one there. That's going to be a pretty little eggplant. I mean, look how much they've grown in just the last couple of days. My eggplants are getting huge. Especially that one right there. And see, it's got blooms right there. So there's going to be an eggplant there. And I don't remember if these were the Casper white eggplants or if they were the black ones. They were one or the other. I don't remember which. But yeah, in a dry climate like this, you want your soil to hold a little bit of moisture. You want it to drain. You don't want it standing in water, but you don't want it to dry out from the time you water it one day to the next. Now, the dirt under there is damp. I put compost tea on that. It's damp to my fingers, but the top is pretty dry. And see, I got eggplant blooms there. Oh, I also wanted to show you, I got 3 or 4 Casper eggplants on my first, ooh, I stepped on something here. I got my sandals on, which I never should wear out here, but I do. But I wanted to show you. Look at this. Look at my white Casper eggplant. I got one right there. There's one over here. Right there. I thought I saw 3 in there. But I guess maybe there's 2. No, there's the other one. It's right back there. So they're getting long, but I'm going to give them a few more days before I try picking them, because I think they'll get bigger than that. And look at there's a white one. That's a pretty good size one right there. That's almost ready to pick. But they say if you plant eggplants in the sun, or where they get quite a bit of sun during the day, they get bigger. Whereas if you grow them in the complete shade, you have smaller eggplants. So this gets all the morning sun, but in the late afternoon when it gets extremely hot, they're in the shade. So that helps keep the plants from burning up. And with that, I'm going to put this video to another little short video that I did yesterday out at Lowe's. I went out to Lowe's to see if I could find a new sink to fit my kitchen, and they're all too big. Mine is like 33 inches by like 14 or 16 inches from the front to the back, and then it's only 6 inches deep. And then all these other ones that I found are like 19 to 22 inches from the front to the back. They are 33 inches wide, and they're like 9 inches deep. That's way too big for my small counter to accommodate. But while I was out there, I picked up a hitchhiker on my car. And he was so cute, so pretty, I had to film him. Oh, and I got to film this tomato right here. I've been waiting for that thing to ripen. Look at that. Yeah, Lucky, I come in here to get the tomato. But look at that. That is a pretty good sized tomato, y'all. That looks like a BLT to me. Yep, that looks like a BLT. Look at that. Lucky, are you enjoying yourself? Are you enjoying yourself? Well, I got to get out of here. I'm up in the garden section, not in the walkway. I don't want to step on Lucky. But yeah, I got to harvest my basil too. And I didn't bring a knife out. I should have brought a knife to cut it. But I tell you what I can do. I can break off. Well, I can't either because it's too tough. I need a knife. Let me go get a knife or a pair of scissors. My scissors, my garden shears, is the best to use. So let me go get those. Turn this around. But I got my kitchen shears here, and I'm going to come out here and basil off. And I can get it off the stems in the house where it's cooler than out here. I can't see. And this will help the basil grow too. It'll grow back even thicker than it was. But it's cooler to do this in the house. So I'm going to cut it off the best I can and take it in the house, wash it, and put it in the dehydrator. So I got all that basil. And I've got another plant over there I need to cut too. Oh, maybe I should go do that while I'm still thinking about it. This one right here, look how big it is. And I can't tell what I'm showing you. Yeah, you can see it. I'll put my tomato down. But it's starting to go to seed, and I've been trying to keep it broke off the best I can, because I'm not going to dehydrate the seed or the flowers, but I am going to cut it off and dehydrate the leaves. And I can still come out here and harvest fresh basil for a recipe anytime I want to, because, you know, my leaves are going to grow back. And it'll grow back even thicker than it is right now. I used to break it with my fingers, but then it turned your fingernails black, and I didn't like that. So I decided I'm going to start using my vegetable shears. That one's going to seed up there at the top. Yeah, I think that's going to be about it. But I got all this basil. And I got me a tomato for some BLT, y'all. Y'all, I'm getting ready to wash my basil. And I'm going to put it in the dehydrator. But it will be going outside because I can't breathe this. When it's dehydrating, it smells too strong. But I've got the sap that comes from the trees, and it drips on all the plants under the trees. And that's one reason I have to wash it, is because it kind of got sticky with that sap from the trees. I'll let my pan get too full. I'm going to leave that much in there, and I'll take it out and pour it on the garden. Get my head right in front of everybody. Put it in this thing so it can drain. But you can see how the tops get when they go to seed. It flowers, and then the flowers darken and they dry. I'm gonna have to cut that off. And it makes a little seed pod thing. There's another one. So we don't want those to go in the dehydrator, because we're not dehydrating the seed. It is so hot outside, y'all. You can't handle it, but just more than just no longer than I was out there, and I feel like I'm wet from one end to the other with perspiration already. I feel like my clothes are sticking to me. I'm so wet. Go ahead and dump this out. Whew. But I will load this up. I will load the dehydrator up. Whoops. I got it on that hump again. I always forget about that hump. But I will be putting this one outside because the bugs will not bother basil. Flies do not go around basil. So I don't have to worry about anything getting in here that don't need to be in there. Now I'm going to kind of do this. I'm not going to pick off each individual leaf. It's too time consuming. But when that dehydrates, I can just pick it up and pull the dehydrated leaves right off of that stem. So I'm just going to leave it on. Just like that. The big leaf, I can just put the whole leaf on there. Yeah, but any of the pieces that don't dehydrate real good, you can just take them out of it after it's dehydrated. You don't leave all that in there, so. But it's just easier to do it this way. Less time consuming on a hot day. Now the big leaves I'll cut off. That just hold it right over the, because I'm not anxious to have black fingernails. And this basil will turn your fingernails black. I've had to literally bleach my fingernails after messing with this basil when I break it by hand. So I've learned to start using kitchen shears, vegetable shears to do this and save your fingernails. But see, that's much easier than trying to break all that off outside in the heat. A lot easier. And I mean, you can fill each tray up completely with basil. It will dehydrate. Don't worry about it. It will dehydrate. And my holy basil has started to grow a little bit. I haven't been able to really harvest anything off of it yet, but I'm anxious to get some of the leaves and make holy basil tea, because they said the holy basil is the best for the tea, not this regular basil. And this is the first time I've ever planted holy basil. But like I said, it's not really, I probably need to harvest some of it's what I need to do. Because if I harvest some, it'll do like I said the other ones will that I just harvest this from. It'll let it thicken up. You know, the limbs will thicken up and produce more leaves that way. So that's probably what I should do with the basil, the holy basil. Don't want it in the middle. And some of these you can just pull off with your fingers. You don't even have to break them at the stem for it to turn your fingers. But if I go to break the stem, I'm going to cut it. Because that is the only way to do it without ruining your fingernails. Probably got enough. And some of the leaves are already starting to dry out some. You can see black spots on them where they're drying from the sun. But I love basil. I use it in a lot of pasta dishes, you know, spaghetti sauce, that type of thing. Soups even. And it seemed like just out of 2 plants, I've always got tons of basil. And I got 3 of the regular basil plants out there this year. I don't know how I ended up with 3 of them. Usually 2 is plenty. I got a few brown spots on some of the leaves, but that's just from the sun. There's nothing wrong with the leaf. But I like to use the fresh basil when I've got it in the garden. And then through the winter months when I don't have basil growing, I can use the dehydrated basil. Because that way I can use what I grow in my garden instead of buying it. And it doesn't matter that it's wet. This dehydrator will dry it fast enough. Especially with it outside in the heat. And if you can catch the little pods at the top before they put out flowers, they are really good. They are the most flavorful of all of it. If you catch them just before they bloom out and put flowers out. Like that one right there. It just started to bud up, but it's not flowered. So it's still like the basil leaf, and you can dehydrate it. And it's real flavorful. And that one too. It hasn't opened flowers yet. Some of my leaves are pretty big. I should be able to fill up all these trays with no problem. Like the looks of that leaf. Whew, I'm sweating, y'all. It's tickling my face. I am cooling down though since I've been in the house. It is extremely hot outside. It always wants to fall down in the hole. Oh. Oh, my nose. You know, don't stop your hole up in the middle of your dehydrator. If you've got one like mine. Some of you have more fancy dehydrators than I've got, but I did not really use mine that much to go to the big expense of getting a real expensive one, so. And I don't really know that they would work any better than this one. Some of them may work faster, I don't know. But you can only have it so hot to dehydrate. You're not cooking it, you're dehydrating it, so. Y'all, I'm dying. It was so hot outside. I think it's supposed to be back in the triple digits today. I don't know what the temperature is right now, but oh, I think I got enough on this one. I mean, you can put quite a few on one tray. Because as it starts dehydrating, the leaves are going to shrink up to nothing almost. Man, I'm going to have a full dehydrator. Got some dried leaves already on it. Dried basil leaves. Went right down in the center. And I've got some orange bell pepper. My bell pepper back here on the back patio turned orange. So I know those were my orange ones. Because, you know, I planted green ones, red ones, yellow ones, and orange. And I ended up with so many plants, I started distributing them around the yard. And I don't know what color is until they produce peppers and turn whatever color they're supposed to be. And I'll take you out there in just a second and we'll go look at them before I end my video. But I do want to add that little thing with the bird. My little hitchhiker at Lowe's to this video when I do publish it, because it's not hardly 5 minutes long. So I said, well, I'll just add it to another video, and it'll be good. But you can dehydrate this much basil, and oh my God, you think you got a lot, but when it dehydrates, it goes down to nothing. And you end up with this little bitty jar of basil. But it's been enough for me because, you know, like I say, I put it in a lot of dishes, but I've still got basil from last year that I dehydrated. I mean, I don't have a ton of it, but I still do have some. Spread this out a little bit. Don't want it too thick. Whoops. Yeah, it's better to turn the scissors, the shears dark than to turn my fingernails black. Keeps going down in there. Ah. Don't want any in my hole down there. Got a few big leaves down in the bottom here. Okay. Here, I got a... The basil's taking my breath, y'all. That's how strong it smells. And it smells even stronger when it starts to dehydrate and it gets hot. Oh my goodness, then it really puts out a smell. But I'll leave that there for right this minute, and I'll take you outside, and we're going to see the, let's see. Take you outside and show you my orange bell pepper that I've just turned. And I got to refill my hummingbird feeders. Sorry about that, y'all. I forgot to lower the neck of this thing down. But look at here, I got 2 more Casper white eggplants right there. But they're not big enough to pick. And there is my orange or gold, whatever color you want to call it, bell peppers. And I'm going to pick those and put them in probably my next cooking video. And there's a green one over there. So I got green ones, I got all colors. And I'm in ants again. Oh, it's a never-ending story. I got to put stuff here on the porch now. But look at this, what I stepped in. See those ants all over my patio? And I put poison out here. As soon as I end this video, I'm coming out here and I'm gonna put more poison out. Alright, well I'm gonna wish y'all a good day. Let me go get some poison and get rid of these ants before they eat me alive. And I'll see you on my next one. Please like, share, and subscribe to my videos. Love y'all. Bye now. I got a hitchhiker over here on my car. He flew into me as I was walking up and almost hit me in the head. He's on top of my car. He's pretty. You gonna get off of my car? I gotta leave. Yeah. I got to leave and you're on top of my car. It's pretty. He's got blue around his eyes. Or her eyes. Oh, we got up in the tree. He got up in the tree this time. Never know what I'm going to run into. I come here at Lowe's looking for a kitchen sink, but they didn't have one. Not what I need. Well, I think he's going to stay up there in the tree limb. He flew out of that tree limb and almost hit me in the head. Just zoomed right by my head as I was walking up to the car. See if he comes back down. It looks like he's wanting to, but I don't know if he will. Can't even see him. You probably can, but I can't. He's hidden. He's hidden. There he is. Well, I'll leave him alone. Maybe he'll stay up there long enough for me to leave anyway, and then he'll probably fly back down. And he's going on up the tree. See his tail. Well, he's out of sight now. He's up in the tree limbs, so